In every corner of Africa, stories breathe, tales buried in dust, whispered through firelight. You're about to hear one of them. Welcome to African Horror Stories. Lesotho, the cave where people disappeared. In the mountains of Lesotho, there is a cave no one will go near. Not because of wild animals, but because of what lived there when hunger turned people into something else. This is the story of the cave where people disappeared. The village sat high in the mountains, where the air was thin and the nights were colder than they should be. People there lived simply. They raised sheep, told stories by firelight, and respected the old warnings. Because in those mountains, the past never really leaves. There was one place everyone avoided, a dark opening in the side of a distant mountain. No paths led to it, no animals grazed near it. Even the wind seemed to go around it. His name was Thabo, a young shepherd, stubborn, curious, and just old enough to think he knew better. He had heard the stories. Everyone had. But stories were just stories, or so he believed. One evening, as the fire cracked and the cold crept in, his grandfather spoke. If your sheep ever wander toward that mountain, he paused, leave them. Thabo laughed. Why would I leave my own sheep? The old man didn't smile. Because some things are not worth following. It happened a few days later. The sky was gray, the kind that made the world feel quiet. Too quiet. Thabo counted his sheep. One was missing. He searched the hills, calling out, listening for bells. Then he saw the tracks, leading toward the mountain, toward the cave. He hesitated, just for a moment. Then he followed. The closer he got, the quieter it became. No birds, no insects, not even the wind. The cave stood before him, dark, wide, waiting. The air around it felt wrong, heavy, like the mountain itself was holding its breath. He stepped inside. The light disappeared quickly. The ground beneath his feet, uneven. Then he saw them. Bones. Too many to count. Some small, some not. He told himself they were animal bones, but deep down, he knew better. Then he heard it, breathing, slow, uneven, close. Thabo froze. His heart pounded so loud he was sure whatever was there could hear it. And then, something moved in the dark. At first, he thought they were shadows, but shadows don't crawl. Pale figures, thin, twisted, moving low to the ground, watching him. Their eyes reflected what little light there was. Not animals, not anymore. Something in between. One of them let out a sound. Not a scream, not a growl. Something broken. Then they rushed him. Thabo turned and ran. His foot slipped against loose stone. He almost fell, but caught himself just in time. The cave twisted around him. Paths he didn't remember taking, shadows stretching in ways that didn't make sense. Behind him, the sound of movement. Not footsteps. Dragging, crawling, scraping. Too many of them. He took a turn and stopped. Dead end. The air there was thick, damp, and the smell, rotting. His chest tightened. Slowly, he turned back. They were closer now. He could see them clearly. Their limbs bent the wrong way, their fingers long, clawing against the stone, and their eyes fixed on him, watching, learning, as if they were remembering how to hunt. Thabo forced himself to move. He pushed past the panic, past the fear clawing at his throat, and ran toward another narrow passage. The space tightened. The walls pressed close, scraping his shoulders. Behind him, something lunged. He felt it. The rush of air, fingers brushing the back of his leg. He screamed and kicked back blindly. Something hissed. He didn't look. He couldn't. The passage dropped suddenly. He slid down hard, hitting the ground, pain shooting through his side. For a moment, everything went quiet. Too quiet. He held his breath, listening. Nothing. Maybe he had lost them. Then, a sound, right behind him. Breathing. Close. Too close. Thabo turned slowly and came face to face with one of them. Its skin stretched thin over bone, its mouth slightly open, as if it didn't remember how to use it, or was about to. It tilted its head, studying him. Then it smiled, not like a person, like something trying to copy one. Thabo shoved it back with everything he had and ran. Now the cave was alive behind him, movement from every direction, the sound of bodies dragging across stone, echoing, multiplying. He didn't know which way he was going anymore, just away. Then, light, faint but real, the cave entrance. He pushed forward, legs barely holding, lungs burning. The sounds behind him grew louder, faster, closer. One last lunge, and then he burst out into the open air. He didn't stop running, not until the village came into view. That night, no one believed him. They said fear had gotten to him, that the mountains play tricks on the mind. Until the next morning, one of the missing sheep returned. It stood at the edge of the village, still, silent, watching. Thabo never went near that mountain again, but sometimes, late at night, he hears something outside his hut. Not footsteps, scratching, as if something is still trying to find its way out. Some places are not meant to be explored, and some hunger never truly dies. That's all for today. If you liked the video, let me know by hitting like. And if you're new here, be sure to subscribe for more. You can watch another video of mine right here. See you next time.